for joining me for another cup of liberty. A couple of weeks ago, I had an article published on Foundation for Economic Education, where I'm a faculty member, and Huffington Post and some other sites where my stuff gets published. And it was called Authoritarians to the Right of Me, Authoritarians to the Left. And the response it got was a little remarkable. And I say that because it was actually a long essay. It was nearly 4,000 words, right? So not your normal journalistic opinion piece. And usually I think it's hard to get people to read pieces that are that long and involved. But the thing got shared thousands and thousands of times. And I think I understand why. Obviously, the rise of authoritarianism in America is not something only I've been thinking about. Lots of people have. In this article, I talked about, as the title suggests, authoritarianism rising on the right of American politics and on the left, but importantly, how one feeds off the other in a kind of vicious circle. And, you know, when Trump got elected, a lot of folks on the left went out and bought 1984, George Orwell's novel. And I kind of start the piece by pointing that out. And as someone who wrote a book myself last year, it was called If You Can Keep It. And in the introduction of that book, I talk about George Orwell's novel 1984. I reference it extensively. As someone who did that, I am very happy that folks who are scared about the rise of authoritarianism in the US decided to go out and read some George Orwell. The interesting thing, though, is that George Orwell in 1984 and Animal Farm, two of the greatest cautionary tales ever written in the English language, arguably, certainly with respect to politics. George Orwell did not say quite what a lot of people think he said. And I suggest in this essay, Authoritarians to the Right of Me, Authoritarians to the Left, that George Orwell might have had more to say about what was going on with respect to left-wing authoritarianism than with respect to right-wing authoritarianism. Explaining, as I did in the article, what authoritarianism actually is seemed to really clarify things for a lot of people, enabling them to understand the mechanisms by which and the reasons why authoritarianism rises in a society's politics at certain points in history, and what the rise of authoritarianism is really a response to. When you understand that, you can understand how and why it rises on both the right and the left, and this is the important bit, I suppose, what we need to do if we care about liberty, and we don't think that basically institutionally coercing people to do things, which is what authoritarians tend to want to do politically, if we don't think that's a good idea, what do we do about it? You can't defeat an enemy, if you want to call authoritarianism an enemy to people like me who love liberty. You can't defeat an enemy unless you understand it. So, this article, Authoritarians to the Right of Me, Authoritarians to the Left, in it I make some really important points about authoritarianism and therefore about what we need to know as a society right now. Obviously, thousands of people were really interested in this, so I've decided that I'm going to do some videos, and it might be quite a few because I'm going to try and keep them short, covering some of the critical points about authoritarianism in America right now, why we have it, and how, as I say, the authoritarianism of the left and the right are feeding off each other, and what we can do about it if, as I say in the article, you, like me, are stuck in the middle with George. Authoritarians to the right of me, authoritarians to the left. Here I am, stuck in the middle of George Orwell, with George Orwell. And if you are too, join me for this series of videos. All right. Thanks, everyone. Catch you later.